thank you for tuning in today for this monthly live broadcast. We are about equipping world-changing disciples. Greetings, I'm Junius Dotson, General Secretary of Discipleship Ministries. I want to thank you for joining me for another edition of Dotson Live. And we're broadcasting live today from Smashville, home of the Nashville Predators. Go, go, go. They're going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Also have in the gallery some good folk from the Brentwood United Methodist Church, from the communications team. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us as well. Hey, the purpose of this monthly broadcast really is to help you as leaders and influencers in your church go to the balcony, take a 30,000-foot look at your ministry, because I believe most of us have some area we'd like to exercise greater leadership in order to achieve better outcomes. Well, that's where we come in. And I am personally committed to helping you develop stronger and healthier leadership for more effective ministry. Here at Discipleship Ministries, we are very excited about a new initiative we rolled out a couple weeks ago. It's called See All the People. And today I want to talk to you about this initiative, but more importantly, I want to talk about what it means for your church. I believe it's going to be a tremendous benefit for our denomination. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to shift the conversation from talking about all the things we're doing in preparation to attract people to our church to actually engaging the people who are right outside our doors and across our communities. I believe that engagement and developing relationships is the beginning of discipleship. So it's a shift that we're trying to make, but we also understand it's very difficult for many of us to make. So I want to give you an example of what we mean when we talk about engaging your community. About 4 years ago, as I was pastoring a church, St. Mark in Wichita, Kansas, we were charged with an opportunity to help restart a dying congregation. And we asked one question when we approached how to restart this church. The question was, how do we reach the people in this community? How do we connect with the people in this community? How do we build relationships with the people who are literally living right around this congregation? And so we developed a plan. And the plan was simply to go out and to engage people. There were several things we did over a 4-month period. One was a prayer walk. We simply went, knocked on doors and prayed with people. A second was an event in the park. It was a community block party. It was just literally inviting our neighbors to come to the park to meet their neighbors. And then the third, what I want to go into detail about right now, was a gas buy-down event. Now, if you remember, gas prices were astronomical, over $3 at the time, and people were really struggling. And so we talked, how could we be a blessing to the people in this neighborhood and at the same time initiate a conversation with them? And so the idea was to do a gas buy-down. So we created this event on a Saturday morning. We partnered with the local gas station, and what was very interesting about this local gas station was they were fairly new to the neighborhood. And there was a lot of opposition to this gas station coming to the neighborhood. And so this was a win-win. This was an opportunity for them to meet their neighbors as well. And we partnered with a local radio station to help get the word out about this event. Then we purchased about $2,500 worth of gas and the Quick Trip, the gas station. What they did was they partnered with us and provided some beverages, free beverages for people who were getting gas on that particular day. And of course, the radio station helped us with the broadcast. So I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that on this Saturday, that literally you have 100 cars that are streamed all the way through the neighborhood. And as these cars are in line waiting to get free gas, we had a very captive audience. So we had an opportunity to literally go and to personally introduce ourselves, but to personally meet these persons who were attending this gas buy down event. This was such an awesome experience because it gave us an opportunity to not only get to know their stories, but also for them to see that we were a congregation that was really interested in getting to know our neighbors. Now, the ask at this event was not for them to come to church. The ask really was an invitation for them to participate in another engagement event. So another block party or an event at the park, but you get the idea. The idea is, how do you build relationships on an ongoing basis? That's just one example of how a church can be intentional about doing that. Now, I want you to hang with me to the end of this broadcast, because before we finish today, I'm going to share a story of a church that has already begun the process of engaging and building relationships with people in their community. I believe it's a story that will inspire you. Now, let me be clear. See All the People is not a program. It is a movement. It is an attempt to help every local church stay relentlessly focused on making disciples for Jesus Christ, not by accident, but in a very intentional way. See, when churches create an intentional discipleship system, they move from tinkering and fixing to relationship and discipleship. And we do this not to simply fill our pews, but to live into the great commandment, to love God with all your heart, mind, spirit, and soul, and to do what? To love your neighbor as you love yourself, and to live into the Great Commission, to go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything that I have commanded you. And remember, I am with you always to the end of the age. Now, the results are passionate followers of Christ who are committed to not only their own spiritual growth, but also helping others discover and follow Christ. Disciples make disciples. I believe when you have passionate Christ followers committed to discipleship, then you have a healthy church with the capacity to grow a larger mission. I believe churches should be measured not simply by their seating capacity, but by their sending capacity. How many people are we sending out to share their faith, to share their story, to engage in relationship? Hey, if you're just joining us, I'm Junius Dotson, and we're talking today about how churches reach beyond their walls. And I want to invite you to take a second to like and to share this video with your friends and partners in ministry. I discovered in my experience as a local church pastor for more than 25 years that one of my primary responsibilities was to help my church stay focused on discipleship. If you are a lay person leading in your church, I believe that's one of your responsibilities, to help your church stay focused on discipleship, to not be so inwardly focused that we neglect the work of engaging and building relationships in the community. And so I've developed a very simple resource to help guide your church to develop a discipleship system that fits your context and maximizes the gifts of the people who attend your church. Whether you are a church of 35, 350, or 3,500, I think you'll find it helpful in focusing your discipleship efforts. So I want to invite you to do three things today. Number one, I want to invite you to go to the website, seeallthepeople.org. There's a video there to help get the conversation started in your congregation and in your circle of influence. Number two, download that booklet. It's free. Plan a meeting to get your church started. And after you download the booklet, we'll also send you weekly ideas, fresh ideas that will help you to engage and build relationships in your community. If you like the hardbound version, you can also purchase that for a very small amount. There's a link on the website as well. Here's the third thing I invite you to do. Spread the word. When you go to that website, seeallthepeople.org, share the video. Let's start a conversation using that hashtag #seeallthepeople. Now, here's the beauty of this initiative. It's not a program. It's a movement. It's not top down. It's bottom up. Because we believe that many churches across our denomination are already doing an awesome job of engaging and building relationships in the community. We also know that there are churches that have very innovative, creative, but here's the key word, intentional ways of discipling people. And so what we like to do is simply lift those ideas up so that we can all grow and learn from each other. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but we're trying to help those stories, those effective stories of churches that are doing great work. We're trying to help those stories, unearth those stories so that we can be inspired by one another. So if you're one of those churches that are doing great things, would you please share your stories of how you are in relationship with those around and through your community? Or if you may be a church that's struggling with how to do that, if you are, share that as well, because again, we're trying to learn from one another. Just remember to use the hashtag #SeeAllThePeople. So let's take a moment, take a look at a small church just a mile from the Mexican border in California that's just beginning to live out what it means to engage its community. Let's take a look.
You know, this congregation first studied what it meant to be outwardly focused, and they got pretty excited by that point. And so we have gone out and built relationships with the Kiwanis and the Senior Center, the Optimists, the Boys and Girls Club, the IB Women's Club, the Friends of the Library, the Mayor's Advisory Council, the Chamber of Commerce, the YMCA, and local businesses. You know, in becoming an engaged community, well, the community became engaged with the mission of the church. Now at this point, we don't have a lot of people coming Sunday morning, but there has been an increase in volunteers and of those who are contributing financially to the church. In fact, you know, we have almost as many people outside the church who are pledging as we have church members who are giving. Now, the Imperial Beach United Methodist Church is a small church, a membership 116, but our parish, the city of Imperial Beach, has over 27,000 people, and that's our work. That's our challenge, and that's where we are now finding a growing, engaged community where people are connecting and volunteering and planning and giving and praying to build the kingdom of God right here, right now.
I'm Serge Dedina, Mayor of Imperial Beach, and it's been really great to work with Pastor John and the church who've been instrumental in really helping us deal with social justice and issues of social equity to make our community a lot more fair and make sure we're doing things that help the people who are most in need in our community.
My name is Mercedes. I'm standing in the community garden at the Methodist Church. This is a special place made possible by Pastor John. He's been very inclusive of the community needs, and we have this garden. We participate in the meditation group and the pre-market, and it's just wonderful to be in a place that considers community so important.
Hi, my name is Aaron Ruiz, and I'm the Imperial Beach Club Director for the Boys and Girls Clubs of South County. We're a proud partner of Pastor John and the United Methodist Church here in Imperial Beach. Proud to collaborate for the Food Pantry and the Hunger Collaborative, and also proud to offer our facility for fundraisers for the United Methodist Church.
The church wanted a pastor who would work inside the community, and Pastor John was willing to do that. But before that, he started small groups, shepherding teams, Sunday school, so that we could take care of our members within the community and work outside the church community.
Hi, my name is Tim Earp. I'm General Manager of Pier South Resort in Imperial Beach. And I just want to tell you how wonderful our partnership's been with Pastor John and the United Methodist Church. We've really been able to work on a few initiatives, some of which is community support by us donating staycation package, and there's our tourism initiatives that we take on that he's been very helpful to me. So thanks again, Pastor John. Really appreciate the partnership.
Friends, let's start a new conversation that looks outward. Let's inspire a movement of making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. Please join me in this effort. Our next broadcast will be August the 8th at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. By the way, my birthday is August the 7th. I'm not opposed to birthday greetings. I'm just saying. I'll see you on August the 8th. God bless you, and God bless your ministry.
This has been a production of Discipleship Ministries, an agency of the United Methodist Church. Visit us online at umcdiscipleship.org.